And then I would put, 1,400 milligrams of ABX in there. It was Michael Jackson tea.
Yeah.
By the time I got finished with it, it wasn't even tea. It was like a fucking silk of oil on the top. It was just amazing. And I would drink it and I would get fucked up. But I didn't know what my reaction would be every night. I didn't know if I was going to pass out. I didn't know if I was going to eat half the kitchen. Some nights, whatever was in that fucking junk would make me stay up and do fucking somersaults down here. And I'm watching TV and I'm smoking dope outside. And I'm like, And then one night we moved in on the 4th and the 2nd.
Okay.
And my sister-in-law died on the 5th.
Damn.
Okay, so we moved here like on a Saturday. Me and my sister-in-law got off the phone on Tuesday. And by the time I went to the Stress Factory and pulled into the garage to do a set with Tim Dillon, my other sister called me and she goes, "Did you hear the news?" And I go, "No." And she goes, "Your sister-in-law died, Sherry." And I go, "I just talked to them at 6 o'clock. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night."
Holy shit.
It was a fucking weird week. So I'm sitting down here about a week later, blasted out of my fucking mind. And I'm starving. Let me go upstairs to the kitchen, see if there's any salami and cheese, whatever I was eating those days. And I walk upstairs, Lee, and 1 minute I'm eating, and the next minute, Lee, the kitchen looked like a bomb dropped. Right? There was cheese puffs and fucking white bread and fucking salami on the floor. And I had opened up like a fucking iced tea, and it would leaked. And in the middle of all this, I'm sitting in the fucking kitchen. Lee, you just won't believe this. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting in the kitchen and I'm looking at the light in the living room.
Okay.
It's not a chandelier. It's just like a little light that hangs.
Right.
For some reason, God made me look at that light. And the next thing you know, I heard a fucking rumble, Lee. Like the house was shaking and shit. And I'm like, this has to be a bad dream. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm telling you the story for the first time, the truth. I'm looking at that chandelier shaking, and I'm feeling the cabinets are shaking and the plates and shit.
Okay.
And once it stopped, I just sat there, looked around, and I'm like, I'm not even going to deal with that. I'm going to finish the salami sandwich. I'm going to bed like nothing happened. I'm going to make believe that did not happen because that was an earthquake. And there ain't no fucking way on earth that I just lived in California for 23 years. I'm here for 2 weeks, and there's an earthquake. This is just a bad dream. This is the edibles. This did not happen. And I went to fucking bed, and when I got up that morning, there was a fucking earthquake in Freehold, right where Ken, the Chinese guy is.
Right.
It was right down there, Lee. I woke up the next morning like, what the fuck did I do?
What do you mean? You thought like it was like your fault?
That was God telling me I made a mistake, or I brought an earthquake with me from Cal. I mean, I woke up the next day and that was all on Twitter. You brought a fucking earthquake with you, you fuck.
Holy shit. That's crazy that you think you would blame yourself for that.
I didn't blame myself. I just thought I had the malouk on me. I thought, fucking, this was my sign that this was not going to be any bueno and shit.
And then how does that relate to the one that just happened?
I was telling him the story. And then the woman, that his ex-wife, is also a trainer in the gym. She came out of a different room and she goes, "Did you feel that earthquake?" Right. And that was an earthquake. And I told him the story of what happened to me. He was dying of laughter. Dog, it was so surreal, Lee. It was like the night we were in the office right before we left, and that car came by and yelled our names.
Oh, yeah.
We both looked at each other and we're like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Because we had been there for 8 years. And all of a sudden, the pandemic, nobody's allowed in the street. And somebody actually came to the gate and was yelling for us to come out to get high or whatever the fuck they were saying. And I'm like, it's time to go. So when I got here and I got that earthquake, I'm like, oh, that's a signal, Jack. We better pack our bags up and go back to Cali like fucking LL Cool J.
Jesus. Did you look at it, or it was just like a momentary panic?
It was a what?
Like, did you actually look at moving back, or was it just like a panic for like a second?
No, I didn't fucking look at moving back. I was here 3 weeks. How bad would you look if you fucking came back into town with a U-Haul? We're not doing it. Get the fuck out of here, you know.
Okay. I would imagine, like, Jesus Christ. I didn't know everything went so bad that first week.
It was just like one thing after the other. I wasn't sure I'd made the right move. You know, she was one of the sister-in-laws. She lived 3 hours from me. But I fucking love her to death. She was there when I started comedy. She did everything for me when I came back in 93. And over the years, she would come to my shows and, you know, she made fucking best chicken cutlets you ever had. She had like 3 dishes that were fucking unreal. So I was waiting to come back here to hang with her, and I would go down there on the weekends with her and my brother. I fucking loved her. So that news was brutal. And then 2 days later, I had to drive 3.5 hours to the fucking wake in COVID. And I'm petrified. I got to pee. And I got to walk into these gas stations, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I walk into a funeral parlor, and they're everywhere. And people got masks on. And I was like, this is not happening. I'm going to die. Wow. And I remember staying there for an hour and getting back in the car, and it was another 3.5 hour drive. And I had to keep stopping because I was nervous. I had anxiety from the fucking COVID that I was going to get it in the gas station. It was brutal.
And you don't really drive for anybody. I'm almost surprised you went.
I had to go to this one. This one I had to do. This one there was no getting out of my way out of that one. You know, so I'm happy I went. I made his world. I made my world by going. It gave me peace, and I'm still not at peace with her death. Obviously, I'm still talking about it. I took one of the flowers from on top of her casket, and I still got it. I mean, I was tight with her, Lee, really tight with her. She had been married to my brother since I was 23. 23, 24.
Wow. They stayed married that entire time, and she lived, and she would come to shows every time you were in town?
Every time I came to town, Jersey, Philadelphia, Atlantic City, New York City, I gave her a fucking edible. In New York, remember when they shut the window, all that shit, they were there.
Right.
They were there, man. So, you know, it kind of was fucked up at first. It happened when I was in a parking garage. You know, that's when they were doing comedy in a tent.
Jesus.
It was just like a fucking... It was like something out of a Twilight Zone. I'm like, this is not fucking happening.
Turn off your TVs, run for your lives. It's over. They didn't put you on this planet just to give up. If Uncle Joey could do it, I could fucking rule the world. That's what you gotta be thinking.
Welcome back to church, motherfucker!